Hi guys, it's your girl Ina here, and I'm going to do another cooking video for you guys, and I have everything ready here to make a potato gratin or au gratin, Kartoffel gratin, if you live in Switzerland. A potato gratin, au gratin recipe with white spargelin, as they say in Switzerland, and America, or in English you would say, I can't think of the word, asparagus. So we have chopped up asparagus here that we're going to make with the potato gratin. So what I did with the potatoes is, as you can see, I just sliced them really thin, and then I let them soak for a couple of hours in salt water to draw out some of the starch. As you can see, they're still dripping a little bit. And then I really thin chopped some onions, chopped up some garlic. I made a cheese blend of cheddar, mozzarella, Gruyere, a Swiss cheese, and pecorino, an Italian cheese. So be careful when you're cooking with cheeses like pecorino, because it's kind of a salty cheese, that you don't over salt, because that will add some salt to your recipe. I also have some Hollandaise sauce, which I actually bought pre-made Hollandaise sauce, and I just watered it down a little bit because I want it to soak into the potatoes. So I just watered it down a little bit so it's a little bit looser and easier to pour. So the way you do this is just kind of put it together like a lasagna. So I'm going to start with putting a little bit of the sauce down on the bottom of the pan. Spread that out, just so it doesn't stick to the bottom. Spread out my sauce there. And then you're just going to just layer everything up. So we've got our Hollandaise sauce on the bottom. I always feel under pressure that I have to do this fast when I'm making a cooking video. They don't fall. Lay out a layer of your potatoes. Like I said, slice them nice and thin. Fan those out. There was a promotion for knives at our grocery store, and if you saved so many points, you could buy new knives. So we bought all new knives, and it's like a rebirth, because our knives, I didn't even realize how dull our knives were until I got these new knives, and now I just adore chopping all my things up for my recipes, because it's so nice to chop when you have nice sharp tools to use. Okay, so I have a layer of the potatoes here. I'm going to put on directly on the potatoes a little bit of nutmeg. Okay, a little bit of salt. A little bit of black pepper, freshly ground black pepper. Okay, then I'm going to throw in there a nice layer of onions, like so. Oops, drop some on here. Some garlic. Don't be shy with the garlic. And then, of course, the star of the show, the asparagus. Layer that on there. It's so nice to have someone help me film. And then we're going to go with a thin layer of cheese. Very thin layer of cheese. Then we're going to go again with a little bit of the Hollandaise sauce. Okay, so we're just going to continue this process until the whole pan is full. And when the whole pan is full, I'm going to come back to you and show you the next step. So be back in a minute. now you see I've made all the layers with my potatoes, my asparagus, my cheese, my onions, my garlic, and so now I'm on the last layer. So what I'm gonna do is use up the rest of my cheese on the top layer. So that gets nice and bubbly and crisp on the top. And like I said, I have cheddar, mozzarella, pecorino, and Gruyere. So a little mixture of cheeses on there. And then we're gonna have it like that. Then I'm just gonna use the rest of my Hollandaise, pour that over the top. Try to get a little bit of everything there. Make your top layer a little bit prettier. When you're doing your middle and bottom layers, it doesn't matter if it's not so pretty, but on the top layer, try to make it a little bit prettier with your potato placement. Okay, and then, okay, that looks pretty good actually. And then I am going to throw a little bit of rosemary on the top, because nothing goes better with potatoes than rosemary. And then I am going to cover this. This is important. Cover it with foil and bake for a half hour or so, because none of this stuff is pre-cooked. So the potatoes, the asparagus, nothing's pre-cooked. So cover it with foil, put it in the oven for a good half hour. I'm gonna do it on about 180 degrees Celsius, which I think is about 350 degrees Fahrenheit, roughly. Check that, because I'm not sure. So I'm gonna roast this in the oven for a bit, and then before your guests get here, take the cover off and then bake it a little bit longer, 15-20 minutes without the foil on top, so that the cheese gets all crispy and the top gets a little bit brown. Keep an eye on it at the end that it doesn't burn, and we'll come back when we're ready to take it out of the oven. Okay, so now we're ready to take it out of the oven. Now, one thing I have to say is you will have to increase the times a little bit more than I said before. So it's been in the oven more like 45 minutes and uncovered for about half an hour. Remember, the potatoes and the asparagus were not cooked before. So now we're gonna take it out. We've got the top a little bit browned. And so it looks and smells fantastic. But what I'm gonna do now, because you see how loose it is around the edges, like if you want to be able to cut it and serve nice things, you have to let it sit. And this is the thing, like with lasagnas, meat, anything, it's going to stay warm. Don't stress about that. Tell your guests it'll be ready in a few minutes, and just let it sit for a minute on the counter, that it can kind of come together, and then you'll be able to cut nice pieces out of it. Like right now, if you serve it, it'll just be like, nobody wants that, okay? So we're going to let that sit for a little bit, then we'll be ready to serve. Hope you enjoy it. If you do make this recipe, please take a picture, send it to me, or make a video. Let me know how it turns out. So this is asparagus, potato au gratin casserole, and let me know how yours turns out. Thanks for watching.